What's going on, guys? So, I've been wanting to do walkarounds for a minute now. Kind of bummed me out that I didn't get to do one for my white FD RX-7 that I had, and I sold it before I was able to do it. So I'm going to start doing it with shit I have, because sometimes I get in and goes real fast. I'm not planning to get rid of this thing anytime soon. This is my 91 GTR. Give you a little walk around of it and what all is done to it. So it's a 91, of course, in charcoal gray. It's got the RB26 in it because it's the GTR, all-wheel drive, but electronic front diff. You can pull the fuse and make it rear-wheel drive. This one has quite a bit of work done to it. This is my second one. Unfortunately, accident happened with my first one, and picked this one up. This one, most of the work was done by a company called RK Tuning over in Europe. It has a built bottom end, pistons, rods. It's got an R33 5-speed, which is actually stronger than the R32 5-speed, can handle more horsepower. She is sitting on a Meister R coilovers, full exhaust, cat delete. It's a 3.5 inch all the way back to a 4-inch tip, HKS tip, HKS muffler. Let's see what all's done to it. It's got, of course, R34 wheels on it. The engine, back to that. She has HKS cams, Audi R8 ignition. Can never remember what I'm trying to tell people. Just put this Tomy master cylinder brace on there, and that actually really stiffens up your brake pedal. It's got Greddy intercooler piping, old school Greddy, name's escaping me, front mount intercooler. Cool Max radiator, which is a big European brand. It's got a Nismo oil pump on it. I just put a Haltech ECU in it, Haltech Platinum Pro, which runs off map sensor. So I still have my MAFs, but that's just for intake air temperature. Otherwise, it's running a Haltech. 1050 injectors. It's got a GT2860R turbos on it, which I believe came on the stock R34 GTR engines. And right now it's all pulled apart because I am putting these guys on it. Stronger wastegates. Mamba. I've heard they're actually a pretty good brand. I got them off eBay, but I've heard good things about them. I'm going to look to make off of spring alone about 12, 13, 14 pounds. So that I can tune it for about 24, 25 pounds boost. It had these stock guys on it, which were only limiting me to about 7 off of spring alone. And then, like a dumbass, I didn't do my homework on the turbos. I ordered these Turbo Smart Disco Potatoes, which are for the GT2860RSs, which are actually different from the GT2860Rs. So I got these, modified it to make it work. The brackets I had to, see, where is one? I had to actually make some little modifications on the bracket to make them fit, chop it down a little bit, and then on the wastegate itself, I had to bend the rod out and then bend it straight up here on the threads, put a little tack weld in there so it was strong, and it fit, but it's not meant for these turbos. I emailed Turbo Smart, they have awesome customer service, highly recommend, and they were like, oh yeah, those are for the RS turbos, which are different from the R turbos. It's still a GT2860, but one's an R, one's an RS. It's stupid, right? So whatever, they're sending me new rods, new brackets. I'm going to send them back to the company I got from. I told them what's up. They're still never used, and they said, yeah, if they're never used and you can put them back to stock, we'll take them back. So that's pretty cool. Waiting on those brackets and rods to come in. In the meantime, I got the intakes all pulled apart. It's laying here on the ground. Strut bars off of it for ease of access. And that's about it engine-wise. Should be making somewhere between 5 and 550 wheel. I can make more, but I want to keep this thing reliable and keep making pretty good power, and that's pretty good power in my opinion. It had an Apexi ECU in it before, and it was making 440 to the wheels, and it felt pretty quick then. So this is going to be almost another 100 horsepower. Should definitely be noticeable. You can see the catch can over there on the side and the relocated oil filter, because the stock one is under the intake plenum, and that's just a pain in the ass to get to. Map sensor, I think this is map, or that just could be a vacuum. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my map sensor for the ECU. The correct way to do this, because it does have 6 different butterflies on the intake plenum, is you're supposed to take the intake plenum off and drill 6 different holes and put like a little vacuum adapter on there, a little nipple coming out, and link it into a 6-into-1 system so you can get true readings in front of each butterfly. But taking the intake plenum off is a pain in the ass, and I may do it eventually, but not at the moment. I don't want to do that. This thing's been off the road for too many months now, 4 months, give or take, 5 months. And I'd rather just get back on the road and drive it sparingly through winter when there's no snow, ice, rain on the ground, or no salt either. We'll go to the interior. Right now it's a stock interior. Rear headliner is sagging. I don't know if you can see it from the rear, not with the glare. Pretty much stock interior. Side bolster on the driver's seat's got a little bit of a tear in it. I should be getting my friend's R32 GTR Track Edition seats, hopefully, fingers crossed, within the next month or two. It's got Nismo floor mats in it, TWM Phantom shift knob, which is really cool. It doesn't get too hot or too cold, so on a 100-degree day you come out and sun's been beating down on it, it only gets to about 90, 95 or so. I mean, relatively speaking, you put your hand on it and it doesn't burn your hand. Really cool shift knob, kind of expensive, but worth it. I've got full AEM gauges. Let me walk around to the other side. Full AEM gauges. I've got air fuel here in the side vent. Water temp and oil pressure over there. It does have a Nismo white cluster on it. I'll take the wheel off. Momo old fighter style wheel, back from about 2013. Should say the year on it, 12 maybe, 14. And then I've got that AMS 1000 unit for a boost controller in there. All in all, I love this car. I don't have any plans to sell it. The double din head unit's pretty cool. I still need to put the cover back on there for the ECU you can see in the corner. I don't plan to sell this car anytime soon. I really like it a lot. And like I was saying earlier, I'm going to start doing more walk-around videos of the other shit I've got. I've got an old mini bike in here. It's an old Rupp from 1970. Got my moped built over there that's just about on the road. I need to time the HPI ignition on it. That thing's got way too much stuff done to it. And pissed off that I missed doing a walk around of the white 94 RX-7 that I hadn't sold. May do a follow-up on that down the road somewhere in buying and selling and entrepreneurship with no college degree. But I did just pick up 2 days ago a 1993 R1 RX-7 with some mods done to it, and it is stupid clean. This is like the cleanest one I've ever seen. So I'm probably going to do a walk around of that maybe tomorrow. I've got tomorrow off. And I'm probably going to try to sell it as well. It's hard to say no when you got good profit cash offers coming your way. Back to this guy. I think I've told you just about everything that's done to it. Ignition, intakes, cams, cooling wise, oil filter relocation, oil pump, chassis suspension, of course lowered on the coilovers, strut brace. Oh, I did get a Kansai, I don't know how you say it, K-A-N-S-A-I, Kansai brace for a Christmas present last year from my father, so that was pretty cool. That was kind of a pain in the ass. It came on the Nismos. Well, this Kansai makes a replica that came on the Nismos. It's hard to see, but down there you can see coming off the frame right underneath the downpipe, I suppose, it goes over, and it's a 4-point brace that goes underneath it, and that really stiffens up the car. That's pretty cool to have. You had to cut into your frame, actually, which was kind of weird. So what I did was I did a 3-way notch into my frame so that I could get a bolt up underneath of it to come out through the other side and drill a hole. And then I pushed the 3-way back flat and did welds around it. I think that's about everything on it. Hopefully she'll be back on the road in another couple weeks. Get the new wastegates on it. Get it tuned for these cold temperatures. She didn't want to fire up the other day when I had the stock ones on it, and it was about mid-40s or so. Last time that it was tuned, it was, I think, low 60s. And the Hall Tech just doesn't know what to do when it's in the 40s, 20-degree temperature difference. But, that's about it for this guy. Appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for more.